Welcome back to Unstable. I am your host, Jeff Steckel, aka Big Stack. You can pretty much find me anywhere using the Big Stack or Big Stack 88. Doesn't matter. It's because I'm big. It's because my last name's Steckel, or however you want to take it. That's up to you. We are back with our 34th episode of Unstable. Just recorded this AFC South show, so make sure you head over there on the Curtis Podcast Network. Check it out. They're also doing Third and Teal for the Jaguars, who suck. And Titans Takeaway should be dropping an episode as well soon. So go over there and show them some love too. Do it for Third and Teal, even though we all hate Jacksonville. But show some love, or comment, talk some trash, tell them what I said. I don't care. They can talk shit all they want about Anthony Richardson, but hey, at least we don't have $50 million dump into a quarterback that's for a team that's 1-5. So anyway, we are at 62 subscribers. Trying to bump that number up, trying to hit 75. So please help me out. Alex couldn't be here. They're still kind of recovering from the Hurricane Milton, so understandable. Still, best wishes to everybody out there, and hope for fast recovery. Hope get power on soon, all that good stuff. It sucks to be without. So I hope everything works out for everybody over there. And Justin, haven't really heard from him. He's a busy guy, so it'll be just me again, which you'll get my ADHD brain for the next 20-30 minutes while we break down the Colts beating the Titans, which very excited about, very happy about. It was a very important game. I mean, it's the Titans are abysmal on offense. We knew this coming in, but getting this win was very important. It's the difference between the Colts going 2-4 and going to 0-3 in the division, and instead, they're at 500. They're 1-2 in the division, and things don't look so bad. Yeah, the Texans are they had a couple of rough weeks, but they showed out against the Patriots, so they did what they had to do against a pretty bad team. Not saying that Drake May had a bad game, but I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, but it was, too little, too late. Texans kind of ran away with that, so I'm okay with it. I kind of wish they would have lost. We could have gained a little bit of ground on them, but it is what it is. But Jacksonville and Tennessee stay in the basement where they belong. So let's go Colts, baby. We're at least a couple games out of dead last. But no, the Colts have had some really good games, and I'll get into the Titans in a minute. They've had some really good games. They lost to the Texans by 2. They lost by 6 to the Packers, and then they lost by 3 to Jacksonville. So they have lost their 3 games by a combined 11 points. That's a tough pill to swallow, man. They're that close to being undefeated. They just scored 12 more points. That's why it's so tough, man. But here we are, 500. Those are what ifs. They didn't win, so that's what ifs. They came into this game, and they did what they had to do to win. I will say that the defense, although they only let up 17 points, was still the weak part of this team. And you could say the offense, but the Titans both the Titans and Pittsburgh came into the Colts game ranked first on offense. So they did well enough to win. But the defense still had its issues. And specifically, against the run game, they still let up 120, 130 yards. They let Pollard look really good. He's not a bad back. I mean, he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons, so he's not a slouch. But just backbreaker, that 3rd and 19, let up a 20, 30-yard rush. Can't let that happen, man. And the other big thing, I harped on it all last season: the pressure rate. They did have some pressures in this game. It wasn't as abysmal as the Jacksonville game, where he dropped back 34 times and they had 1 pressure. It wasn't that bad, but they still generated no sacks, which is a problem. And Gus Bradley keeps bringing 4, especially with a guy like Latu, who I don't think is more of that every down lineman where he's just that power rusher. He's going to bull rush you. I don't think that's a style. He's more of the speed, finesse. I don't want to say he's Dwight Freeney, but I think he has that athleticism where he can do the spin move, or there's just some of those things that Dwight Freeney did. I think he has the athleticism that he isn't really being able to utilize. They just have him down fourth lineman and bull rushing, and that's not really him. But Gus Bradley isn't going to change. He's going to bring four. He did up that a little bit. I did see a few 5-man rushes, which I was happy to see. And Will Levis only had 95 yards. I honestly expected him to get at least 250. They let Trevor Lawrence go for almost 400. They let Fields go for over 300. They let Caleb Williams go for over 300 and get his first NFL passing touchdown. So if it's not the run defense, it's been a big problem. It's been the secondary. But it looks like, and I'll get into the positives, there was not a whole lot of negatives in this game. So my mistake. Kelly did get hurt in the game. Again, it seems like he can't stay off the injury report nowadays. I believe it was his calf, which is unfortunate. But I really like the center that they have in Bordolini. I think he is the future. I really do. So I said it in the offseason. Is this the last year that we see Ryan Kelly in a Colt uniform? And unfortunately, I think this might be it. It just injuries, kind of. He's had injury history. He's getting older, and I like Kelly as much as the next Colts fan, but I think this might be the last year, unless if he takes some very team friendly deal. I think this might be it. Whether or not he retires or they don't, I just think this might be it of Kelly. If it is, he had a great run. In my book, one of the all time Colts guys. So, but I think they're okay at center behind him. I think Bordolini is solid. He's done a great job. On other news, I don't think there's too many other injuries in the game, if I'm not mistaken. DeForest Buckner is eligible to return from the injured reserve. Whether or not they do or not, I have no idea. It's Monday. It's Victory Monday. So I don't know if they will take him off of injured reserve just yet, but he is eligible. And I was really surprised about Michael Pittman. I mean, it went from he's probably going to go on injured reserve to, oh, he's not only playing, he's catching touchdowns. So I was thrilled to see him out there. I'm glad that it wasn't as serious as everybody reported. And to see him, I mean, it wasn't an extremely productive day aside from that great touchdown catch, but it was still good to see him out there. I think he had another tough first down conversion, so it was good to see. I'm happy he was out there. The defense, aside from that rushing touchdown for Tony Pollard, I think they did not terrible. Held Will Levis to 16 completions on 27 attempts for 95 yards. That's bad. That's against a secondary that had just gotten shredded. That's terrible. And if you go over to this AFC South show, you hear Austin from Titans Takeaway saying Will Levis isn't the guy, and they're probably drafting a quarterback in 2025 draft. So he's not even on Will Levis train anymore. And like I said, I honestly expected Will Levis to go for at least 250 against this bad defense. The Colts have a bad history of letting mediocre or worse quarterbacks look really good. So that makes me feel a little bit better. I think, obviously Dallas Flowers was waived. So they brought up Samuel Womack, who actually had a really good game. I can't remember his numbers. I'm not going to look it up. You guys can Google that stuff for yourself. But coming up from the practice squad and getting the start opposite of Jalen Jones, I think he did a really good job. Calvin Ridley. 8 targets, no receptions, man. That's an expensive 0 receptions. And he actually cried after the game, oh, man, they're not targeting me early enough. Why? So you could have 12 targets and no receptions? Like, come on, dude. Maybe do better. I don't know. Joe Flacco, I don't think he had like a monster game, but he did what he had to. That first drive was beautiful. Very well done. Still getting it done on third downs. I think there were 7 of 11? 7 of 15, sorry. So a little under 50%, but they were important third downs, the one that they did pick up. Had 20 first downs. Penalty yardage was the big one. Colts only committed 5 penalties for 40 yards. and the Titans 11 for 113. What I loved about Austin on this AFC South show, he didn't cry about that pass interference. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I think it was Jalen Jones on Hopkins. The entire sideline of the Titans wanted it. They didn't get it. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but it wasn't called, so it wasn't pass interference. You could also argue that the Josh Downs third down should have been pass interference too, that wasn't called. So tomato, tomato, let him play. Time of possession was almost an even split, which I'm happy with because the Colts for those first couple of games, it was like 40-20. So it was good to see at least an even split, even though they didn't dominate time of possession or anything. So, but again, Michael Pittman had that huge catch in the end zone, and honestly, it was an ill-advised throw from Flacco. It just worked out. I'm glad it worked out, but he threw it off his back foot and just kind of floated it there. Pittman went up and did his thing. So, Michael Pittman, he's a dog. He's made plays like that in the past where he's gone up. I think it was last season. Went up, triple coverage. A guy had his hand in his face, pushed his helmet off, still came down with the catch. So that was cool to see. Josh Downs had a really nice day. Again, still has that really good rapport with Joe Flacco. 7 of 66 for a touchdown. Mo Alley Cox. I was wanting him off the team, but he's kind of showing better hands. He was over the middle, caught one, got blasted in the back, stayed on his feet, picked up a few more yards. That hit had to hurt. I will say I think it's time for Trey Sermon. Maybe shouldn't be the number 2 back behind Jonathan Taylor and probably shouldn't be starting in Jonathan Taylor's stead. He had 18 carries for 29 yards. That's 1.6 yards per carry. That is awful. Awful. That's worse than Trent Richardson. At least I called him 2-yard Trent. Because at least he'd get you 2 yards. 1.6 is awful. It might be time to push Sermon to the 3 back or practice squad because he hasn't looked good the last couple days starting for Jonathan Taylor. So, however, Tyler Goodson, he's looking like he's making a strong statement to be the number 2 back. 8 carries, 51 yards, and 6.4 yards per carry. He also had 4 catches. Yes, they were only for 14 yards, but they were effective. The only issue I'd have, I think, was Alec Pierce. He didn't have a catch in the game. He was targeted, and I think Flacco missed him on a deep pass. He burned Snead a couple of times, honestly, but he just overthrew him. If I'm not, maybe that was Doolin, but either way, Joe Flacco did miss a couple of deep passes. Might have been Pierce, not sure, but Pierce did get a defensive pass interference call, so he made an impact in the game. It's just unfortunate. It didn't really show in the stat sheet, but I think he's starting to get a little bit more attention and respect as a deep threat. So might have played a little bit into it. Again, I think Flacco missed him. He also, I don't want to say it was a really bad interception, but he tried to throw it over, if I'm not mistaken, either the safety or the linebacker who was pretty, I think the announcer said he was like 6'4", 6'5". I can't remember what his name was, but he floated it over trying to get it to the receiver and put a little too much touch on it, sailed it. Who got that pick? Let me see here. Sorry about that. Hooker, Amani Hooker. What I do like is that the Titans didn't get a sack either. So Colts line still doing a really good job. I don't like that the Colts also matched with zero sacks, but you have to feel like they're going to come, especially when, man, I'm hoping Buckner comes back because he does it all. He's a good run stuffer. He's really good at getting to the quarterback. I think that'll really bring back this defensive line, make them more effective. He is the anchor of that defense. You could say Zaire Franklin, but I really think it's Buckner. Ever since Buckner's been out, man, this defense has looked pretty lost, especially in the ground game. They let, Tank Bigsby get over 100 yards. He had a really good day against the Colts. Tony Pollard had a really good day against the Colts. And those first couple of weeks, Joe Mixon, he couldn't stop him at all. But I think Buckner was in the game. I can't remember. I don't remember if he left that game early. I'm either way, he is the anchor of the defense, so it'll be really nice to get him back on that defensive line. But there's a lot of positives in this game. It's, again, the Colts go to 500. They stay a couple games out from Houston. So, and it seems like they're starting to get healthier. I know Anthony Richardson is expected, or they're expecting him to start against Miami next week. I don't want to do a whole preview thing. I just forgot about him in the injury report. But he was inactive, obviously, in this game. Joe Flacco got the start. And I've said it a couple times. I don't know if it's this team riding with Flacco until it stops working, and they're going to say, "Oh, he's not fully healthy yet," because Steichen did use that language of he'll start when he's fully healthy. Well, when are they going to determine he's fully healthy? So, but it doesn't really seem like that's the case because there has, I think, been more consistency with Joe Flacco on the field. But if you just look at this defense, it doesn't seem like that they're really ready to make a playoff run. They're just not there yet. So getting reps for Anthony Richardson is really important to see if he is the quarterback going forward and if they need to sculpt this team around him more or if they need to find another guy to sculpt them. Regardless, if Anthony Richardson's the guy, Flacco's the guy for another year or whatever, something's got to be done about the defense. It doesn't effing matter who's your quarterback if this defense is playing as bad as it has for the first third of the season. So, but this is positive, man. It's Victory Monday. It's Victory Week going into Miami, where hopefully they go to 4-3 and push over 500. Well, I mean, not go to Miami, but have the game against Miami. So, but we'll talk about that in the preview episode. I usually record those Thursday, drop it on Friday. So keep on the lookout for that. Again, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Hopefully I'll have Justin and Alex back, if not one of the two. I know you get tired of me yakking on for 20 minutes, but I mean, what are you going to do? I'm the host of the show. I got to do it. The show must go on. And I enjoy doing it. Please comment. Let me know what you think. If I missed anything, if you want to chat it up, if you want to complain, well, don't complain. It's Victory Monday. Don't complain too much. There's enough Facebook groups where they're still complaining about anything and everything. Colts fans can be fickle. But yeah, if I missed anything, let me know. Anything that you saw that looked better or worse than what I said, let me know. I'd love to talk about it in the next episode. And of course, comment anything that you see against Miami, ways to win, that sort of thing. Obviously, please don't say score more points than them. Don't be like I say on 3rd and 2. Oh, they're going to have to score more points than Miami. No shit. Real ways to win. Come on. But yeah, I mean, this is a good game. I don't want to say it was a get right game, but I would have. Okay, here's what I did. I said 20-17 on Unstable. I said it on Titans Takeaways that, hey, sorry, I'm watching the Jets game, the Jets Bills, but I said it on Unstable. I said it on the Titans Takeaways that the Colts were going to win 20-17. You can check back if you want me. I'll make it short and bring the receipt to it. I did change it. I recorded this AFC South show last, of course, with the crew, and I changed it to 28-17 because I thought it was going to be more of a get right. The offense was going to click a little bit better. They were going to kind of prove that the Titans defense wasn't as good as everybody was making it out to be. That didn't really happen. They did win 20-17. I can't say that I got the score prediction right because I changed it. But I will say we do a Pick'ems league. And if the Bills hold on, they are winning 20-17 right now as we're recording this. If the Bills win, I was perfect in the Pick'ems. So I would have gone 14-0. Not to toot my own horn, but toot, right? Man, I wish I had bet on this, man. 14-game parlay and pick them all right. That would have been some nice money, but oh well. I'm not in a state where I can do that. Come on, Texas. All you're doing is sending all your gambling money to Oklahoma and Louisiana. Legalize it already. But yeah, Colts win. Hopefully they ride this on into Monday, where hopefully I'll see you guys. I think it's a good time to wrap it. Again, if I miss anything, anything you want to say, make sure you drop it in the comments. We like to talk football. Definitely like to talk. Heck, if you want to talk about the division, drop it in there too. If you want to listen to this AFC South show, make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell there too, so you don't miss anything there. I will see you Friday when we talk about the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts. Be good people. Enjoy victory week, baby. Go Colts for the shoe, as always. Bleed blue, baby.